the 51 individuals who signed this letter at the request of the Biden administration, do you think that perhaps now they could be rewarded in the Biden administration since they did what he wanted and got his fake letter? This is, you can't be okay with this. Like,
oh my gosh. Wait, did you just use a slur for black people?
what?
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Second time he's used it as well.
Oh my God.
I wasn't sure if I caught it correctly the first time.
What word?
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna kick him immediately. That's fucking crazy.
Okay, I thought I misheard it the first time because I was like, I had never heard that
I
used
didn't even
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
He
never
definitely
heard.
did say it the first time. Chad is confirmed. Okay, I heard that.
Yeah, thank you for letting me know because like that's crazy. I literally didn't even catch it.
I
The
was
first
wondering.
time I was deep reading this article, trying to.
I'm like, did
Thomas,
Parker?
did you find the source yet?
No. But we can move on to the next topic, like energy.
Okay, you know what, Thomas, we can move on. But can you at least admit that like you obviously didn't have a source?
Well, okay, but that is true that he did go after. What? Well, you don't think Wikipedia is like a halfway decent source, especially when they
Okay, we can just move on. This is at this point, it's really embarrassing. I'm sorry. Like I'm internally cringing. It's so bad. Go for it.
Well, are we talking about the lawsuit?
Yeah.
I
that's what
did
he was
find the
trying to talk about.
lawsuit. He was attempting. Oh, I just exited out of the tab because there was a list of his lawsuits. He was trying to claim, and whatever reason he claimed is he tried to claim they were discriminating against him in Mar-a-Lago. I'm not sure what like the motivation behind the lawsuit was, but he was trying to sue someone or something in Florida, and he claimed it was because they let Jewish people and African American people into Mar-a-Lago, and so they were being treated unfairly, I guess. Which is out of character for him, but also feels like maybe there was something else going on there.
I think there's little things like that people like they're so like hidden deep in the internet that they like bury because nobody knows about that.
And
But
that
I think that makes
everything.
No, I mean I understand where you're coming from. Like it doesn't, but in just like opportunity zones that put billions of dollars into like minority communities and made them safer. And
Tell me, what do opportunity zones do particularly that you agree with?
well, they make the minority communities safer and put more money into there and make them nicer.
How much money did you put into opportunity zones?
I heard it was billions.
So you don't know anything about these. You just think that he's okay.
I know
so
the concepts of them. Like,
you know the concepts.
yeah.
You're walking yourself right into that, bro.
Well, what do you know about them? Do you know anything about them?
Do I know anything about the opportunity zones? So I do know that, like, if you're going to support quote unquote opportunity zones in terms of funding towards communities in which it will need it to increase access to opportunities, probably shouldn't be, trying to defund the Department of Education or not supporting free public universities that would expand people's access to education, right? Or defunding HBCUs like Donald Trump did. He reduced funding from $500 million a year under Obama to $255 million a year, which was increased to $4 billion a year under the Biden-Harris administration.
He helped fund HBCUs and made them permanent, and he got like credit from some of the professors or something.
He reduced funding, and he tried to act like it was like him increasing it. He literally decreased funding by half.
Why is that like a big positive point of his presidency then?
It's not. It's not. It's actually a horrible point.
We're so close. We're so close to getting the point.
You're like almost there.
Gosh, is that true?
Mm-hmm.
He reduced funding for HBCUs?
literally
I always hear
reduced
that
funding.
he gave funding to HBCUs.
I know. That's why I told you he tried to portray it as he gave funding, but he literally reduced it from $500 million a year to $255 million a year, which then it was increased to $4 billion a year under Obama, or not Obama, under Biden-Harris. Tanner,
Okay.
$2. Thank you.
Okay, what about that criminal reform thing he did where all the nonviolent offenders got out of federal prison?
And Charles, think the $5.
The first chance
First Step Act. First Step Act.
First Step Act.
Yeah, it's a bipartisan bill that was supported by both sides, and Republicans only would vote for it once it was the case that there was a Republican in office. So it was supported by both sides, not uniquely to Donald Trump. Along with the fact that Donald Trump supports policies that keep people in prison for things like possession, right, across the entirety of the United States, because he wants to keep DRUGs, GS, like specifically at the M drug, right, particularly like still federally illegal, whereas the Biden-Harris administration wanted to federally legalize it.
Wow. I mean, I feel like there is something to be said that he did sign the act and got it passed under his term.
The bare minimum.
Yeah, literally, like what any other president would have done.
We're killing it.
Well, why didn't Obama get it done?
Because again, Republicans wouldn't vote for it until a Republican was in office.
Yeah, but didn't he have a Democrat House and Senate?
Democrat House and Senate. Not enough to be able to pass the bill, right? Not enough Republicans, because you rely on getting it past the Senate, which is 60 votes because of the filibuster. So you need Republicans.
2018, it was introduced. That would have been after Obama entirely, anyways, unless they had an earlier version of it.
Yeah, so there was like an earlier version of the First Step Act in terms of policy that was brought up and talked about, but it wasn't like what's it called? It wasn't put into law because Republicans wouldn't vote for it until then. But it was already talked about under Obama.
Jeez. Okay, well, what about everything he did for veterans?
Like what? Cutting the VA?
No, I thought he passed all these legislations for the VA and like raised their confidence level in the VA and like gave them like a choice of physicians so they could choose their own doctor and got them like better care and stuff.
There was a choice thing that I saw, but that's about it. But he cut the VA recently.
What?
Yeah.
That guy is all about veterans, I thought.
Clearly not.
What?
Well, I thought he was going to get rid of homelessness for veterans. What happened to that?
I don't remember.
Hasn't talked about that for shit since he got elected. What happened to the no tax on overtime, the no tax on tips, the no tax on Social Security? What happened to all of those things?
Well, from what I understand, that's still coming, right? I thought that's what all this new tariff income was going to pay for.
I fear it might always just be coming.
Seriously. Also, wait, one thing I just realized is that the VA Choice and Accountability Act of 2014, it was in 2014. That's under Obama. I completely misremembered that. That's not even attributable to Trump. Which one are you talking about with Trump?
It was one in 2018 I saw when I Googled.
Yeah, maybe I was misremembering. VA Choice.
Oh, VA, sorry. I was thinking the Save Act. No, you're right. That's me.
VA Mission Act.
VA Mission. Okay, I do remember something like that.
Damn.
Yeah, okay, I do see this. Yeah, is that about choice? It removes barriers to veterans care in the community, and authorizes access to walk-in community clinics.
Yeah, expanded veterans access to private healthcare options.
Okay.
Is what I'm reading.
I don't even see it, but sure. Yeah, so again, what's the healthcare plan? I think that was asked already. And
isn't he going after like telehealth as well, which is going to impact like everyone, including especially veterans and stuff, and their access to healthcare?
I actually haven't even seen. Let me look at telehealth.
I remember hearing about that, and I just found an article from March 25th this year, so recently, that said Trump's back to office order will hurt veterans, VA docs and therapists say, and it's on NPR.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
Yep.
Diabolical.
Which makes sense because I imagine a lot of them probably do get telehealth, and that's how they have easy access.
Well, I mean,
can you name a policy outside of the one that you mentioned that benefits veterans?
yeah, right here it says he also did in 2017 the VA Accountability and Whistleblower Protection Act.
Are you reading this off a website?
Yeah. Well, I don't have all of this just stored up in my head like you, man. I got it.
Wasn't he not put into office until 2018?
No, 2017.
Well, the vote was in 2017, but November, and then
No, the votes in every 4 years on 16. It's on always on.
Donald Trump was president in 2017.
Right, I don't remember high
Turns
school that well.
over at like near the middle to like the end of January.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thomas. Next question. Can you give me a policy that Donald Trump influenced to get passed, like an economic policy that benefit the middle class?
The tax and jobs cut act. No, Tax Cuts and Job Act.
Yeah, Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Can you name one provision within the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act?
It lowered taxes. I mean, I don't know.
That's not a provision.
But, I mean, people's tax rates went down.
How so? Like by what provisions?
Like the percentage, the rates, the marginal tax rates or something.
For what groups? For
all groups, I thought.
For how much? Salty with $10. Thank you so much.
Do you know off the top of your head?
Well, is this the policy I'm citing? I do know some provisions of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act off the top of my head.
But do you know the exact numbers that you're trying to quiz me on?
I'll give you an example. Like the 2 times increase in child tax credit from 1,000 to 2,000, which Kamala Harris wanted to increase even further. That was something within the context of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. That's like for an example. An increase to the standard deduction. Those would be aspects of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act I'd actually agree with. Right? But the rest of the tax cuts, if you were to literally decrease income tax at the same rate for everyone, right, that's going to mean that most of the money is going to go to people who are rich because that's who pays most of the taxes, rightfully so. So obviously you wouldn't want to replace percentage of income tax with a percentage of tariffs, because it is the case that tariffs are regressive by nature, meaning they're going to disproportionately negatively impact people who are lower income because they spend more of their income in terms of a percentage, right, on consumer goods.
I guess that does make sense, especially if.
So they'll pay a higher tax rate because the goods will go up in price. They'll pay more disproportionately. So you're shifting a tax that disproportionately makes the rich people pay with a tax that disproportionately makes people who are lower income pay. That's bad for the middle class. That's horrible for working people. That's beneficial to people who are rich and to big American companies that will have less competition because of the lowered global trade. Jeanette, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much.
Well, what about? I'll give you that argument. But what about Trump's open border policy? I like that one a lot.
You like Trump's open border policy?
Yeah.
You want the border to be open?
No, how he opens borders for trade. Like he's opening people's like trade barriers so we can export our products into.
Really? Tariffs are more trade barriers.
Well, they're the temporary tool to open the barrier. It's like the key to open the lock, and the tariffs are the key.
Okay, then please tell me why we put a tariff on Canada after doing the USMCA, which mitigated tariffs.
Well, he said, I can only go off what he said. He said it was to help stop help with the border. Like they need to pay like for security on their side of the border or something.
And how are the tariffs going to help with that? Why not just negotiate with our allies and be like, yo, you should do this to help us out?
Yeah, that's...
Why do you threaten your allies not only with tariffs, but also with annexation?
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, that's always probably how he's run his business. So he's just like an old man who just is stuck in his techniques that have worked for him.
And
so
that's
now
somehow a good reason why he should be president of the United States.
Well... He's more of like an outsider wild card, in my opinion, where people are like interested to see how it goes because everyone's been tired of the same old bureaucratic political correct. Well, I mean, I think a lot of people are kind of going back like, oh, we like you see the videos about George Bush and you're like, it makes him look really smart when he's talking. And everyone's like,
were you gonna
that's not a great thing.
Literally.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
You remember back then people thought Bush was so dumb.
Yeah, and now they're in some ways people are like,
why'd I say remember as if I lived back then, bro? That's crazy. Diabolical.
that one hurt.
That one really
that one hurt.
But he did, like, his first term he used tariffs and then he did get new deals done. And so I'm waiting to see like what new deals are going to come out of these tariffs. Like I'm waiting every day. I'm like, ooh, is the deal going to come out today? Like reading the paper.
The deal of walking back the tariffs.
Yeah, like what?
Oh no, it's going to be like this big announcement. It's like United States and
Thomas.
China reach milestone deal to send them into the next century as global trade partners, and the stock markets are going to rip, and we're all going to be having lots of money.
Yeah, dude, your like understanding of global market like trade is just unbelievably low. It's like, dude, I can't wait to like see in the future that Trump's gonna do the art of the deal and that he's gonna get the best deal, the greatest deal that makes us all rich, richer than we've ever seen before, tremendously rich, richer, I promise you. Like, dude, like it's just like
That's
literally
what we're
like
hoping.
platitudes. It's like there's no substance here. It's just like, what did you just hear Trump say this? It's gonna be tremendous and it's gonna be big, bigger than you've ever seen. And you were like, I gotta believe him.
I mean, we're in the first quarter. Like, yeah, the stock market is down, but what are we? We're 3 months in.
The stock market down. The Atlanta Fed
Are we
projected a
already in the
recession.
second quarter as well? We're in the second quarter, I
It's been
believe.
3 months. So it's what? It's been 25% of his first year. So what is that? That's like a foot. Do you ever watch football games?
Yeah.
So that's like 4 minutes into the first quarter we are of this football game, and he's down 7-0. Like, there is
That's
plenty
not
of
being
time to
down
recover.
7-0. When you had some of like the largest drops, stock market, you have projections from the Federal Reserve that indicate a recession. Jerome Powell thinks there's
they
going to
threw
be a
an 80-yard
recession,
touchdown. We got to
and that
bounce
they're going to
back.
have an increase in inflation. So you could possibly cause stagflation. That's like the worst set of indicators in the economy. And you're like, dude, he's making the economy great. We're gonna be rich, and we're about to like go to stagflation. Like that's like actually like the craziest take I've ever seen.
What if we do become rich, though? Like, what if the
Harrison,
stock
think of the
market?
$5. What if
if
the
we-
recession makes us rich?
Yeah, well, the recession hasn't happened yet.
I too
That's
like to
why-
live my life in what ifs.
Yeah, seriously,
It's a
dude.
lot better.
Yeah, but it's a what if we
He's
get
like,
a recession.
dude. He's like, dude. He told his rich friends to buy the dip. And they're like, dude, he made him rich. What about everyone else, bro?
What do you mean? If our stock market rips, I think we'll be all right. I think we're just like one deal away.
If the
from,
stock market rips, the stock market was not ripping, and you guys were like on this whole tirade of like, oh, the money doesn't actually matter. What matters is long-term production. And now it's like you switch back to like, oh, I care about the markets.
Well, I mean, I think the markets are a little bit important, but they do.
A little bit. Now it's just a little bit.
They do like they do go up and down a lot. So, like, this could just be what do they call it, a correction, and then
I
could
wish
bounce
you guys would have said that under Biden. I wish
It
that would
seems
have
to
been
go
the
up and
typical
down the
argument.
most usually when Trump's in office. Isn't that crazy? Like, I looked up some of the historic NASDAQ lows, and like most of the top 10 were all during Trump's last term. It's crazy.
Yeah, but his stock market, like went up 70% or something during his term.
Because it dropped to like the
70%?
record most. Of course it's going to go, I mean, definitely not 70%, but like, of course it's going to go back up if you tank it the most historically. Because you're not wrong. Like, it does go up eventually at some point, hopefully, but
No,
Yeah,
his first
it
term
just
he
would have
didn't
gone up
tank it.
more otherwise. It just would have gone
yeah,
up more
did he
it's
otherwise
like
take it
because
on
Donald
zero
Trump.
then, so it's
Yeah,
no
exactly.
good.
Exactly. We would have been if Donald Trump. I was actually scared Donald Trump was going to do this. That he was just going to sit back and just let the economy do itself, right? And it was going to look good because it was the economy was going to keep trending in the correct direction. He could have done that. He could have just literally played golf, and it would have been better than it is right now.
Well, he can't just play golf the entire time.
If he did, the
Keep that
economy would
mindset.
literally be better right now. I'm not trolling. If
Who
Trump
run the
just did it,
country?
if Trump literally did fucking nothing, the economy would be better right now.
Actually, I don't know, because then JD would be in charge, and that's scary. So I don't know about that one.
I don't know. I think I would prefer JD to Trump, to be honest.
Honestly,
JD
he's
doesn't-
kind of already in charge. Let's be real. We
Yeah,
really
for
think
real.
Trump's
Or-
cooking this up.
Really,
J-
for real.
JD ain't got that charisma that Trump got, though. Like, Trump is like,
We can agree on that.
What charisma? What charisma?
I mean, he's just so memeable. Like, he's got a
He
clip.
is memeable.
The couches love him. All right, don't hate on the charisma.
Yeah, the charisma. I mean, you can't doubt the charisma.
You walk into an IKEA, it's all cheers.
And JD Vance really don't got that. Like, he'd be a boring president. Like, I wouldn't even want that guy. Like, I need somebody who's gonna make me laugh, like Trump.
Okay, fighting climate.
Well, no, I care about about us being us being safe. Like, what do they call it? Peace through strength. And I think that's kind of what conservatives believe in, like a strong military where we'll have peace as long as we are so strong nobody will ever like attack us.
No, we're just gonna attack everyone else and annex them.
Well, we're not attacking anybody.
Really? He wanted to annex Canada. He
Oh,
wanted to
that's
annex
just tough
Greenland
talk.
and
He's all bark, no bite. You guys know that. He's a big soft.
We
you didn't
shouldn't
want
know
to-
that, though. We shouldn't have to like play a guessing game with our president's tweets every day. Like that's crazy.
Exactly. And also, why didn't you apply that to any of his policies? Like he claimed he wanted all of these policies. Why didn't you just blame he's all bark no bite? He claims it's the art of the deal. Why don't you just claim it's all bark no bite?
Well, I
You're
mean,
a cult member.
No, he's still barking. I don't know, a cult member. What do you mean?
You're gonna justify anything he does. Is there like, can you give me a single thing he could do that would be like, you'd be like, nope, I'm not gonna support him. Like maybe sexually abuse a woman, or like undermine our democracy, or like call for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles in the Constitution. Like, give me something. What could he do that would be like the line where you're like, I'm done?
If we go into a depression, I'll be flipping the
Is
script.
that it? So it's only if we go into the next Great Depression.
Well, no, like a depression. It doesn't have to be the Great Depression, but a depression would mean that like he's an
Greatest
idiot.
depression.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
How about this? A 3.7% drop in GDP in the first quarter?
Well, no, I would have to. No, not just one quarter. You can't judge somebody on one quarter. Like,
Okay. What about the second quarter being also that much?
bro, if we're in like the second or third year and we're like down still,
The presidency's pretty much done at this point in your scenario.
Yeah.
what do you mean?
The
Like I
third
said,
year.
we're only 5 minutes into the game. This is a 4-quarter game, and I
Okay,
still
how about,
think.
how about this? Do you think that like Trump is better for immigration?
Oh yeah. Now we can talk.
Okay, then how do you feel about the fact that Donald Trump had more border crossings at the end of his 4 years comparative to Biden?
Well, give me a source for that.
Yeah, I'm talking about daily border crossings on average were
Wasn't
lower at the,
or Obama was technically like the hardest on that stuff out of all
Yes.
of them, like
Yes.
by far.
What? That is
Yeah.
no. Now I know you guys have to be screwing with me because that's
no,
like,
that's from the Customs and Border Protection.
no, bro. What? Do you have that pulled up? Like how
Customs
many?
and Border Protection.
How many? If you're right about that, I will be shocked.
Will you regret your vote for Trump?
Wait, you said there was more. What did you say? Are you tricking me with words?
No, I'm not tricking you with shit. I said there was daily average crossings at the end of Trump's term compared to the end of Biden's term were lower at the end of Biden's term. So if you want to talk about what it was in the fourth quarter, that's the score.
That's the score.
Talk about this fourth quarter shit.
What was the total score? I think we got to take the total score. So how many total immigrants did they have crossover?
You would judge it based upon when their policies got into effect, correct?
Well, I mean, if somebody allowed somebody to score a ton of times in the first 3 quarters, but they just scored more in the fourth quarter, doesn't mean they won the game.
Okay, how about this? Trump and his first admin net lost jobs. Okay, let's look at the 4 years.
Well,
Biden gained over 15 million jobs. Trump net lost jobs. Who did
yeah,
better?
Biden got
Let's
a
look at the
sweet
total score.
situation for that stat.
Let's look at the total score. First, should have had a mustache.
No, because that's that had COVID.
Oh, now we can't look at the total score. Oh,
Well, COVID. I mean, let's look at the total score of inflation then, if we're gonna go that route, right?
wait,
right?
you don't look at totals because you look at like what they did, what they influenced to get passed. Look what happened under the administration. You look what they did to cause that. First,
Well,
that mustache.
Biden didn't do much to cause all those jobs, right? Because they were just coming back from COVID.
Oh, again, just because it happens under the administration doesn't mean it's caused by them. So then you say the same thing for inflation, right?
Yeah, I mean, COVID just kind of threw a wrench in both of their presidencies, kind of. and the numbers are so skewed because of COVID. So it's really hard to compare like how their policies impacted stuff. That's what makes I feel like this whole situation so tricky. Is like anybody can be like, oh, because of COVID, or oh, he was doing good before COVID, or he recovered really good from COVID. But really, it's just tough to separate
you
the
could point to the
variables.
policies, push the gold medal, but you didn't know any of the policies, right?
No, I knew the tax Cuts and Jobs Act.
You didn't know like what it did though.
I knew it cut taxes.
Jazzy, thank you so much
It-
for
I
the
mean, it
flying
just
jets.
says it in
Thank
the
you so much,
title.
Jazzy. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Like it's like Bernie's Medicare for all. Like it says it right in the title. It gives Medicare for all. Like I don't know the exact.
It's more than Medicare for all because it provides more than just that. That's just a name.
Yeah.
Like you get dental as well. There's things in Medicare that are not, or things in Medicare for all that are not in Medicare.
Yeah. I just knew it cut taxes and it did something with jobs. Tax Cuts and Jobs Act.
Okay. And if we actually look at the overall effect of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, you can get this from a liberal and conservative economist from Harvard. Look up the macroeconomic effect of the 2017 tax reform bill, and they estimated that it is the case that the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act did around 8 to 16 billion dollars in GDP growth per year, on 0.04% to 0.08%. Right. So that's like.
So it grew the GDP and cut people's taxes?
And then you're not letting me finish. And that was for $190 billion of debt-related spending, according to the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget. So the amount we're putting into it, right, is like significantly more than what we're getting out of it in growth.
In growth. But what about the money people save on the tax cuts?
It doesn't provide growth for our economy. Other things would provide more growth. Like, for example, an increase to the child tax credit, like what we saw Kamala Harris particularly advocating for when implemented in 2021, reduced childhood poverty by 45%. That gives us a lot more than something like the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act in of itself, and it would cost less. Because you're talking about major tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires, and we're talking about predominantly cutting taxes for people in need.
I mean, it has better like byproducts too, because we have super low birth rates that they're concerned about. So it encourages people to have children, which would like build the workforce going forward in the future.
Absolutely.
All comes together. Crazy.
Dang. Oh my gosh. I feel like I've just been lied to.
You have. That's what happens when you're in a cult.
Well, I mean, I don't go to no rallies or nothing. I don't have a MAGA hat, so I've never like considered it.
And that's why you should change.
Ooh.
Come over to the light side. Stop. Get off the dark side. Come to the light.
Go towards the light is a
I am
crazy
going
thing to say
towards
when
the light.
arguing against a cult.
I feel myself coming to the light.
Jamie,
Yeah,
Jim,
it's
thank you
just-
so much. I appreciate the $20 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. I got a few other people to thank real quick. Hannah, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Hannah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Give me some W's for Hannah in the chat. Jesus Christ sent me $2. Thank you so much, Jesus.
Oh yeah, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Charlotte, thank you so much for the $2. Samantha with the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for trust me, bro. Lily, thank you for the $25. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lily. I really appreciate that. Give me some W's for Lily. Maureen with the $3 and then Prescott with the $1. Thank you so much, y'all. Yeah, Thomas.
You got
So, do you think you're like changing your view now, or like, do you actually think that like you were just like, do you still
No.
think that Trump's better?
I'm getting close. You do have 3.2 thousand people in there. So if there's another influencer out there named Dean Withers, you owe me $100 for the bet that we had earlier.
Wait, Dean's one of my friends, right?
Yeah, he owes me $100 too, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dean owes me like $5 million, dude. It's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
how does Dean owe you $100?
I actually debated him earlier, and we made $100 bet, and I definitely won. I just didn't know how to articulate it at the time because we both didn't know what we were looking at.
What was the bet?
I said that China's GDP was growing at a faster rate than America's, and he said that was absolutely not true.
How did we prove and or disprove this
Oh.
here today?
Oh, yeah, over what time period?
Just growing over the past few years. But so he just typed in China GDP, and took the number from 22 and 23 and said, oh, it goes down. But if you actually type in the GDP growth rate, you'll see that China's GDP grows at 5.2% and ours grew at 2.9%. But what he was doing, he didn't know.
I mean, to be honest, I don't know why Dean would agree to that, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah, it's on the very first debate on his YouTube stream today. All you got to do is look it up. It's like 2 minutes in.
Yeah,
What was the bet again? Whose is growing faster?
I was betting that China's GDP is growing faster, and he was.
I mean,
100,
for sure, they're
yeah, no,
huge and they make everything.
He said that was absolutely not true and bet me $100. It's the first debate on his YouTube video for today.
I feel like you're capping.
No, look, pull it up. You pull up his YouTube video right now. It's like 2 minutes in. The bet is loud and clear for everyone to hear.
Well, I'd have to watch back, but
Can I pull it up? I can pull it up.
Maybe he does. I don't want to go over it right now. You guys can figure that out yourself.
Yeah, well,
I'm not gonna litigate shit. That's all you.
Yeah, I hear you. Dean Withers, you owe me $100, my friend.
But if he sends it to me, I promise you, I might send it to you.
All right.
I might is crazy.
If you can collect it from me, I'll give you half of it.
Dinners.
You collect it, I'll give you half.
MH, think of it $2. That's diabolical.
Yeah. So
wait, did you just actually say that? Yo, Dean can send me. Oh, Katie with the $50. Thank you so much, Katie. Thank you for the $50 on Venmo. Thank you so much.
I'd also love $50.
W's for Katie in the comment section right now. Thank you so much, Katie. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Give me some W's for Katie. All right, Thomas, you got anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good. If you can give me that 100, I'll get you 50.
All right.
All right. Later, man.
He's
Dude, a
probably not gonna
50%
get that.
cut is crazy.
I know that is great. That is great.
No wonder that man loved tariffs so much. He has no idea how money works.
I know, right? That's actually diabolical.